The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
I'm Mary Rozak, Director of Communications for Albany County, and this is Albany County News. Welcome. In the next 30 minutes or so, we are going to talk about some programs that you might find very interesting, not only for yourself, but maybe someone you know. And you've probably heard a lot about one program that we're going to talk about in particular, and we are going to separate the fact from the fiction. Joining me today as my guest is Deb Riitano, the Commissioner for the Albany County Department of Aging. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me once again.
Well, you were here when it was not even really cold. It was December, but we were having a warm start to the winter, and you had just come in, very warm welcome. You had just come in and started your commissioner position. A lot has happened since December.
A lot.
You have come in, I'm not going to say like a whirlwind, but you have come in and really made some changes, and already there's been a huge impact for the seniors in Albany County, and I can say that because I see firsthand, and I know I'm responsible for the marketing and communication, and there's a lot going on.
Thank you.
So thank you. I know the county executive is very pleased, County Executive McCoy, and I want to talk about, first and foremost, a program that has gotten so much attention, that is a wonderful program, and yet it's gotten a little bit of negative blowback because it's so successful, and not everybody quite understands really what's behind Go Dine. So we have 60,000 seniors in Albany County or so, probably a little bit more than that after the survey, right, Deb?
I'm not sure yet what the survey is going to show, but we've sent surveys out to 55 anyway.
Okay.
55.
That's quite a good chunk of people. Now, surveys went out. We'll talk about it. We're talking about the assessment.
The needs assessment?
Let's talk about the needs assessment first, and then we'll get to the all-important program that we're talking about, since I brought it up, flip-flopped it a little bit. Tell me about what a needs assessment is. Is it exactly what it sounds like?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Just trying to measure the needs of our seniors, our older adults living in Albany County. Mm-hmm. And Albany County is very, very lucky, thanks to our county executive, because he really believes in investing in our seniors and making their lives as complete as he can do, and and that's happening. You know, that's happening. The needs assessment is required by the state.
Okay.
We have to do the needs assessment because we have to do a 4-year plan. I came in just in time to do the 4-year plan.
You got the big homework, right?
Yes. So that's why we're doing the needs assessment. The thing we're doing a little bit differently this year, we really wanted to make sure we had a really good response, you know, that we would have every sect of the senior population, the junior seniors, the boomers, you know, and more elderly folks.
Well, as you're starting, let's step back and talk about the different segments. So when we're talking senior, what are we talking about? Or what are we talking about 50, 55, 60? What are we talking about for any?
Well, it depends on who your organization is. I mean, we talk about 60 and older.
Okay.
And
so that's the needs assessment deals with 60 and older.
That's the needs with 60 and older. We want to be able to get the best possible read at what we're going to be needing. You know, I'm a boomer. I'm happy to say I'm a boomer. Mm-hmm. Anniversary of Woodstock's coming up this week, and so we want, but a lot of boomers are kind of wedged, you know, they still have millennial children at home. I do. And also, my mother is 92. My mother will be 92 in a couple of weeks. So, you know, we're kind of wedged in between caretaking in different ways. So we wanted to have a really good response to the needs assessment. We caucus, Albany County caucuses with our surrounding counties. We wanted to have the best possible read for the capital region. So all four of us.
So four being Saratoga,
Schenectady, and Rensselaer.
Okay.
And Albany have all sent out the same survey.
Okay, so you're going to compare apples to apples.
Yes, the only thing that's different in the back, of course, are the demographic kinds of things. You know, I come from this town or that city. You know, we've all done that for ourselves. So that when we have it analyzed, we can know what each county needs, and in the bigger picture, what the capital district is going to need, and where we can share services, where we can collaborate. This particular group of commissioners, we enjoy the collaboration very much because we see the power in it, and we see the worth in doing it for older adults.
Now, I'm sure you're going to see when the assessments come back and everything is read, I'm sure you're going to see, because of the different demographics, whatever, some differences, but I'm going to assume, are you assuming that you're going to see a lot more similarities in what people may need or what they're asking for?
We may, you know, yes, depends on, you know, rural areas as opposed to city, being able to get around, walkable cities. We're an age-friendly county. We have that designation. So we want to do as many things that reflect that particular moniker that we have, and be able to move in that fashion. So if you have a walkable community, you know, there's a part of Albany that's very, very, very walkable, and the village movement has taken hold in Albany County, and they're working very hard with that.
You see a lot of that in Colonie, for example.
Exactly.
Give an example.
Exactly. So anyway, we want to see, you know, what's really reflective of our particular area in comparison to the other areas that surround us. Each one of us has, you know, rural areas, and really very good city areas. So we want to be able to see what those needs are. You know, older folks right now, transportation may be an issue. It's less of an issue for boomers. And less of an issue for, you know, the 60 group.
Because they are still driving?
Because they're driving, they're working, you know, a lot of boomers are still working.
Okay.
And
well, actually, and I should, you know, go on record. I'm the end of the boomers, so I'm a boomer too, because 64 is the cutoff.
Oh, there you go.
And so I'm a boomer with a little bit different age parameters that we're talking about with a parent who lives with us,
yes,
and et cetera. But yeah, it's still the same.
So, you know, so you're there. So anyway, we want to be able to really target these efforts and what is, you know, what is really going to be an issue, which brings us, by the way, to the Go and Dine program.
To the Go and Dine program, which we'll get to very shortly, because in case you haven't guessed it, folks, that's what we're talking about in a minute, the Go and Dine program. Let's talk about the needs assessment. So I'm assuming they've been mailed out, or they're being mailed out. So we know where they're going, but can you answer it anonymously?
You answer it anonymously. We have it on our website, so people can download it, answer it, and send it in.
Okay.
And if you don't receive one in the mail.
Can they do it 100% electronically, or you can't do it electronically?
No, it can't come back that way, but they can mail it back to us. Yeah.
Okay. Give me an example, if you can, of what some of the areas that are, or some of the questions might be. Transportation
is one of them, congregate dining, with meal preparation, that kind of thing. No, I just went blank.
Probably.
But those are big ones. Insurance,
okay.
You know, medical issues.
Okay. So you're going to collect all this information. You're going to get it back. Who actually does the, scoring, fills out the sheets, however, to get the analysis done? Who does that?
Well, we'll have someone doing the research who will be able to score all of that and give us the results and tell us, where we line.
So will that be done individually by county? And then
It will be done by
compiled?
county, and then, yeah.
Okay.
And then, and then we'll have a better idea. I mean, we want everybody, as many people as possible, to fill out the survey, because we have to do a 4-year plan. And answering those questions, I mean, you don't have to answer every question, but answering the questions is what drives the money, which, enables us to be able to meet the needs of the seniors. And that's what we want to be able to do.
That's a good point you're making. So, because some people might say, oh, geez, another survey, what's going to happen? Who's going to pay attention to this? What does it mean? What you're saying is that information is going to come back, and the real monies, both county, state, and federal dollars that you get will really drive that plan.
Absolutely.
So, when is all of the information due back? When do you expect to have all of this back and to be able to, have the assessment assessed and be able to start delving into that information?
Well, we need to be able to start the 4-year plan in October. So hopefully
it's quick.
It's quick. We hope in September. We hope that people will have responded and will, send their information so that we can get what we need and get it done, get it implemented.
So the message is, I'm looking into the camera. You get that assessment, you get online, or you do whatever, you get that back in as soon as possible. And then the 4-year plan. How was that 4-year plan created? What is that process? I mean, this is the first thing.
It's a very big. Right. It's my first time, so so it's a very big process that I am still learning. They're having webinars on it, and
so you get guidance.
So
from
we get guidance from the state on it, and we've done this a couple of times. They suggest to us certain things that we might want to look at. You want to look at the poverty ratio. That drives a lot of the money, and how we're helping people.
Sure.
And as things continue to be turbulent, it's a worry for a lot of people, the income.
Because the movement has been over the last several years, and I've got to believe the trend will continue. People want to age in their homes.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, I know that recently the county executive had the press conference and announced there's a new name, whole new, the facility, the nursing home is Shaker Rehabilitation and Nursing Center, and there is a whole new vibe as that's being rebuilt. And a whole new, mindset as to how different genres, those different folks in, as you said, the different sections of aging, are able to utilize that facility as well. How much interaction do you, heading the Department for Aging in Albany County, right now have or expect to have with Shaker Place?
Oh, I think a lot. Certainly, it's our go-to place as a recommendation. If people are able to go there, they get wonderful care there. They've always provided good care. I've been there. I see it. I know it from two ends. I used to do workshops there relative to racism and kind of interreligious kinds of stuff for people who were CNAs there many years ago. It's not the same. It's not the same place as everything else. It's evolved, and
well, I think the name in and of itself, when you think about rehabilitation, people go there to recover and then go back home.
Yes. And people want to be able to go home, But if you can't, if you can't, and you're required that next step of that next level of care, our county nursing home is a wonderful place to be able to go. So
and it's going to take a long time for me to get over calling. Everyone still calls it the Albany.
Yes, I still call it the nursing home too.
Shaker Place. So let's wrap up with the needs assessment. What, in a nutshell, you want all of this October getting things together and rolling it out when? I mean, how long does it take when you?
Well, it has to go to the state. I'm not clear yet on all of that because I'm new. So pretty soon I won't be able to say I'm new anymore. But I'm still kind of new and learning. But I think that all of that needs to get to the state.
And then be approved. That's got to be a lengthy process, though, with 62 counties.
It's a very lengthy process. Yeah. Very.
Wow. And so then once the 4-year plan is in place, I'm assuming we'll post that on our website.
Right, and then we will implement that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
or at least ease into the new, to the new regulation, the new initiatives that we hope will take place.
Even though this is a formal assessment.
Yeah.
Now you've been on the job now for 8 or 9 months.
Yep.
Right. So what have you been hearing out in the community? What have you been hearing in terms of what people need, and how has that really impacted how you've approached your first 9 months?
Well, I hear a lot of things. Some are really great, some are good, some aren't so good. I'm trying to make our office, and I think we've pretty much succeeded as a kinder and gentler kind of place to be able to feel free to call. Personally, myself, I return phone calls all night long to people. Especially with the Go Dine program, because we were so overwhelmed. But it's important for the staff, and the staff knows this, to have that one-on-one with folks, so that you're not always dealing through a provider. And then have it filtered down to the client. We need that one-on-one. We need that experience to be with the older adult, and for them to be able to put a face on us. I mean, that's really what they need. So we go to the congregate sites and kind of introduce ourselves around and see what, if people have needs, what they would like, what they would require from us. And we do that, and we all take turns doing it. I'm going to say it's funny, but I chuckle. You go to the congregate lunches, and those people there who are having lunch, they want you to be quiet. They don't want to hear what you got to pitch. They want to play bingo. They want to enjoy their lunch. They want to do their other things. They don't want to see a program. So I find it very interesting. It's got to still be difficult, because I'm sure you're challenged the same way that when I'm there. Absolutely. But we'll just sit at the table with them. And we don't want to be obstructionists about there, unless we really have something really important that we want to be able to get out to them. But it's a matter of being there and being with them, not you being here and they're and they're here. It's best for us to be in and among them. And that's what we want to be. I mean, I told you I'm a senior. I want people to sit with me and be with me.
What do you think of the congregate meals? My mother loves some of them. She rants and raves about, and I know they change the meals all the time.
I think congregate meals are great. They provide a wonderful opportunity for people to get out. It clearly is the old way of doing business, Go and Dine, and but for some people, that really is, if they're able to get out and about and they can get to a congregate site, there's socialization there. In some of the places, there are programs that happen before or after the lunch or the dinner. It's a great way to have somebody to break bread with, and there's a lot to be said for having somebody sit with you and have a meal. One
of the biggest challenges that I think you're going to find in a needs assessment is going to be transportation, because I know getting that feedback from my mother, it's when she goes to the sites, it's those folks on the bus. That bus ride there, that's a bonding experience. Everything they talk about on the bus, but when they get there, that really is it for some folks. I know who may live by themselves. I know I'm blessed that she's with me and I can actually drive her somewhere and take her with, so she gets out and gets to do things, but not everyone does.
Not everyone does.
And I know that transportation is an issue. I am talking with Deb Riitano, the Albany County Department for Aging Commissioner, and we are talking about all things senior today. We are going to address right now the big program that has just had people coming out of the woodwork, and it's called Go Dine. This is a program, Deb, that when you came in, stepped right into it, it came from a federal grant, right? So Albany County and Erie County are part of this $500,000 grant that has been split.
Correct.
So of the $250,000 that each county gets, there's a certain time period. We have 1 year. The clock is ticking. Tell me the fact. Separate the fact from the fiction. Go Dine.
Go Dine it's a terrific program, a blessing and a curse. It's really been great. It was a grant that was written by former Commissioner Lisa Freddy. I have had the pleasure and the blessing actually to give it life. She wrote it, I got to give it life, and it has been terrific. However, we did not anticipate the overwhelming response we were going to get from it.
Which is much different than Erie County, I might say.
It's different than Erie County.
Same program. We are getting a ton of response. Erie County, very minimal.
Right. So because it's a pilot program, we've kind of had to change gears a little bit with it on how we initially saw it. And what it really evolved into. So we've tried to include as many people. This is a research grant. It's not an entitlement like you get HEAP or food stamps. It's not an entitlement, and that's where the confusion is.
Sure.
Some folks who have called have been very demanding about it. This is not an entitlement program. It's a research grant, and it all has to do with isolation.
Okay.
Being isolated, and how things are changing, how the new seniors sees things. People are able to, they call up. If they were able to get into the program, they were given a key tag with a number on it and vouchers that match that key tag number, which enables them to go to participating restaurants. We have 11, and enjoy a meal.
Okay. So
we have the contracts with the restaurants.
Okay, so you have a key tag and you have one coupon, voucher, and a meal. Okay.
And a meal. And, we contract to pay the restaurant. It's a prefixed price. It's a prefixed menu. The menu has to meet the guidelines of the Older Americans Act on the nutritional analysis.
And I think that's where some people don't understand that either, because it's not going in and demanding you want a steak dinner.
Right, which has happened, by the way.
You go in, and these menus have been approved through the Department for Aging. You had to go through when the vendors came, when the restaurants came. They had to propose menus, and the dietitian had to go through that.
And the dietitian in Erie County has been doing all of our analysis for us.
Okay.
And we're still working through a little bit of it. But we're very pleased that the restaurant owners have been terrific about saying, okay, I can do X, Y, and Z, whatever is required. Sure, I can offer, instead of a great big piece of chocolate cake, I can offer fruit or a scoop of ice cream, so that there's a dairy requirement, and milk is available at every meal. The restaurants have been just terrific about participating.
Now, the restaurants themselves, while the research requires a certain number of people in a group so that you can do that research, the restaurants also had to meet certain requirements. You wanted something balanced. You wanted places across Albany County.
Yes. We wanted to get, when we went out to recruit restaurants, we went to every end of the county so that there would be somebody somewhere, somebody in Ravenna, somebody in Guilderland, somebody in Altamont, somebody in Latham. We went around everywhere. I'm happy that 3 of our restaurants happen to be halal restaurants. That is, doesn't mean much to a lot of folks, but to our Muslim brothers and sisters, it means a lot to know that, we've responded to that. We have been very fortunate with every restaurant owner that has come on board has just bent over backwards to make this program a go. And it's not just a matter of, all right, so for a year I'm gonna feed older adults. It's really been a part of, this is an opportunity for me as a restaurant owner, a business owner, to give back to the community.
Sure.
Let me help the county. And we have had wonderful chefs who have spoken to us and said, I can make this work, even with the bigger crowd that I have in my restaurant. We were very lenient with the restaurants and had them say to us, all right, you tell us when you would like to have people in your place.
Because it's not every restaurant every day. Some are many days, some are.
We had one who was just 2 days a week, and he, last week when I went to collect the vouchers, said to me, add another day, add Wednesday for my group.
So some are breakfast, lunch, dinner, some offer just lunch, some offer
Just
dinner.
dinner, some offer lunch and dinner.
So, and that's all on the website. And when folks actually get their packet with their key tag and their vouchers, they get that information.
They get that information.
So for those people who may be watching this and who may have registered or who may have tried to, but they could not because they were shut out, how does the program go from here? There are a certain number of participants now until September.
We are now, right, and now we will start a second rotation in October. We are now at capacity. We, as much as we would love to be able to take more folks, we just simply cannot. We are.
But you have accommodated hundreds and hundreds.
We have accommodated far more than we ever planned on doing, and because we wanted everybody to have that opportunity. One of the results that we've seen already, and it was an incidental finding. I didn't particularly think about this when we were doing the registration process. There is a place on the registration where it really talks about your nutritional needs, and you get a score. And we are surprised, well, maybe I'm just surprised, at how many people really, their nutritional score came back with, they could use nutritional counseling.
I know, having looked at that and having to approve that form before it went out, I think if you got one that you missed out on, you needed some guidance. Deb, I could talk with you about this forever, and yet our time is running out. So at this point, Go and Dine at capacity.
Yep.
There is another round of things that will go out to those folks that will start for October, and if anyone is interested in finding out more, always go to the website.
And if we weren't able to accommodate you, I am very, very sorry, because we've done as many as what we can do.
And we'll certainly try and hope to get a grant again, or maybe part of the needs assessment, see what we need to do.
It's a winner.
It's a winner. Thank you. Deb Riitano.
Thank you.
Deb Riitano, the Albany County Department for Aging Commissioner. I'm Mary Rozak. This has been Albany County News. We'll see you again soon.